life easier.
Annual chili cook-off, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for Festival in the Park.
She and her highly trained staff will make sure your visit is a positive one. So remember, when you and your family need dental care, Davis Dental Studio. You're not just a patient, you're a friend.
Since 2003, Pro Events has had one singular focus: great audio, video, and lighting systems. Never confusing our industry with the PC crowd, Pro Events always provides you with the best, most reliable options for your house of worship, school, or corporate training facility. Make your system stand out from the crowd. And remember,
for the best AV, you know where to go visit proevents.pro.
Welcome back to the Hub Network. It's halftime. Cushing, Oklahoma, your Tigers are down by 3. And if you'll remember, Cushing missed an extra point. So should be down by 2, but that 3 is still a good score. It's halftime. It's halftime brought to you by RCB Bank. Your bank, my bank. You get an opportunity, go down, tell the following folks how you appreciate them in the community, and this halftime report. It's time for Votes Notes, so let's buckle up and talk about the two sides. We got Miami, who runs the ball. We got Cushing, who passes the ball. So it's been just an earthquake of fun and excitement going here. And we're having to cut my show a little bit short, so we're just going to jump right into it. As Hilligoss has taken his team down. He has 10 attempts, 7 completions for 90 yards, and 1 TD pass to Matheson, who has got 3 catches, 33 yards, way below his average for a game. And he has 1 TD to his credit. Hilligoss on the other end, running the ball, has 6 attempts, 38 yards, and a TD to his credit. If you'll remember, back in that, I believe it was the first period, we got a safety when Miami did that quick kick around the 50-yard line, got the Tigers pinned about the 2-yard line. Hilligoss got trapped in the end zone. As far as receiving, the Tigers have really dished it out to as many as they could today. You have Bales. He has 2 catches for 23 yards. Like I said, Matheson, 3 catches for 38 yards, or 33 yards, I'm sorry. Max Wood had 2 attempts and picked up 6 yards. Lanewood, one attempt, 24 yards, which was a great pass and run. Roman Tucker, they've pretty much silenced him on that outside. He has 2 passes, 7 yards. Rushing, Hilligoss, 6 attempts, 38 yards with a touchdown. Roman Tucker, again, not getting too many touches in the backfield. He has 2 for 1 yard. And they have just really kind of kept an eye on him throughout this whole game. Robinson came in, did pretty well. 3 attempts, 12 yards. They're late in the second. Let's go over to the other side where you have Lillard. His passing has been really non-effective. He is 3 for 9 for 26 yards. His go-to long man, Sam Pang, is 0 for 3, which if you look at his stats, he's usually good for a touchdown or 2 and some big yardage. On the night. They only throw to him a couple, 2-3 times per game, but he always comes up big with some yardage. And the Tigers have pretty well stymied his long ball play. Barnes receiving has 2 receptions, 23 yards. Riley with 3 yards. Hit, and I know I didn't say that right, but he's over, and Kelly is over. So the Tigers in that secondary has done a great job keeping the ball out of the air and into the hands of the receivers. However, on the rushing side, Nichols, the big gun tonight for Miami, he is 11 carries, 119 yards, and 2 TDs. We seen him break one early in the first. That he thought he had a TD, but he stepped out along the way. So, he's a threat once he gets to the outside. Big, powerful young man. You got Davis who comes in the ball game, takes it short yardage. He has 4 carries, 14 yards. Lillard himself has carried the ball several times, 7 times for 25 yards. And then Barnes has come in, and good utility players, 5 carries, 21 yards, and Kelly for 3 yards. A great job by both teams offensively. And, you look at the defense for the Tigers. Fry, 6 tackles. And Moreland, 4 tackles. Bales with 4 tackles. Lang, been busy out there on the corner. You got 9 tackles on the night. Mancada, 4 tackles. And Heisler, he's got 3. And then there's Cruz has been very active down on that defensive end or defensive line. Both teams coming back out on the field. We got about a minute left. I'm going to turn this back over to James and Travis. This is the RCB halftime report. I'm Bruce Vogt, and this is Vogt's Notes.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
RCB Bank is more than a transaction. We work to make your life easier. We help build your business. We finance your dreams. We grow your legacy. We build relationships with our communities. Come in to find out why our customers always say, RCB Bank. That's my bank.
We're here with the opening kickoff of the second half of homecoming. Tigers facing a 13-16 deficit. And you're watching it live right here on Hub Network, and that'll go out of the back of the end zone. The Tigers will start from their own 20-yard line. And what a festive halftime that was. We had homecoming in the before the game, and then at halftime, the Alumni Association presentation of the Hall of Fame and dance team and cheer squad and the band performance in full uniforms tonight. Does it get more festive?
They certainly did. And doesn't get more festivity than that.
You're getting it all right here tonight, and it's coming to you live from Odell Field. Tigers do start this opening possession. I mentioned down by 3. First part of the game, and the statistics brought to you by Votes Notes at RCB at the half proved, a tale of 2 games so far between time possession and quick strikes. Hilligoss is going to start passing. That one will be just wayward of would-be receiver, and that's Roman Tucker. Incomplete pass will bring up a 2nd down and 10. We have to expect the Tiger offense to be real aggressive here in this opening drive and try to make a statement. Only down by 3.
Hey, 3 points. That for the Tigers, that's a great place to be at halftime. Of course, they'd rather be ahead, but, man, the time of possession that the War Dogs have had on this game alone and only be a 3-point game is a victory for the Tigers.
Yeah, and certainly their strategy and everything that goes into it is exactly what they want to do. This screen play works, opens up for Matheson. Oh, it was almost. He got caught from behind. But did you see the development of the block and how Matheson made the cut? And
Matheson did a fading route right in behind the blocker. Nicely played, never stopped his motion. As Hilligoss catches him in motion, he's able just to swing out. And, man, that was just a few steps away from being long yardage.
I thought we were going to sideline dance. Instead, he gains 2. Brings up 3rd down and 8. All wide receivers, empty backfield. And Hilligoss will pass on 3rd. To the left, complete over the middle. Still on his feet. That's Lane Wood, makes his way to the 40-yard line. That gain will be good for a Tiger. 1st down and 10. Nice catch and run by Wood. And I think the key to those, of course, are the development of the patterns.
I agree. I really like the mixing it up in the patterns that we've seen out of the Tigers, especially in the last 2 games. Not just a straight route. It's not just a swivel route. It's these nice little patterns that got to develop, especially like that over the middle for Matheson.
Well, I always used to call that a hot route, hot pass.
Yeah, that's
quick, fast, and that's complete to Matheson into War Dog territory. Gain for a Tiger 1st down and 10.
I remember running a few of those, and they work great until there's somebody waiting on the other side for you.
Yeah,
and they can be brutal, but it's a very good route to slip inside behind the defenders.
Well, I want to come back to that in a minute. Here, Hilligoss escapes some trouble, still on his feet, makes his way back to the original line of scrimmage. He will be brought down, but he turns a big loss into no gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10. I was going to mention that those hot route passes are sometimes designed in a defensive certain set, and so you prevent those blindsided hits and you prevent, picks and things like that. And so certainly those, so far, knock on wood, it's been complete 3 or 4 times tonight, both to Bales and now Matheson.
Hey, nobody told my coach about that theory.
Yeah, right. Almost wrangled in. That was intended for Matheson, and he got a hand on it, tried to get his feet down.
Yeah, I kind of thought he was fixing to bring that in with one hand.
Incomplete pass will bring up 3rd down and 10. This War Dog team, if you're just joining us, they are a very sizable team. They like to run a lot, pass a little, and they like to control the clock, and that's so much what we've seen so far. But the Tiger offense has been effective, just shy of a 3-point deficit. Hilligoss to pass again. He'll take off and run, and that hole just closed on him.
Yeah.
It was open when he took off. Nichols and a down lineman, I believe, were closing that gap, and John just couldn't escape. Loss of 2 on the play will bring up a 4th and 11 and a punt situation. And that'll be Matheson retreating to punt formation, and several of our defensive players come on to cover this return.
War Dog defenders were in tight coverage on that one, and that's what really shut everything down for Hilligoss.
Credit the sack to the secondary on that. Fair catch at the 22, and that's where War Dogs will begin 1st down and 10 with a 3-point lead.
Yeah, 9:26 left in this 3rd period. In this game, it's been odd. Want to mention Blue Sky Bank, your hometown bank. You can call it 918-225-2010. Sponsor of the Big Tiger Play, that's a Blue Sky Bank.
We'll be picking up that and announcing our MVPs and big play of the game on Sunday's Coaches Show, which viewers can tune in at 4 o'clock on Sunday, the Horizon Construction Coaches Show. This handoff over the right side, that's going to be Nichols. He's the workhorse or the heavy load for a lot of the War Dog offense. One of the rare senior members on the team. He'll gain 1, brings up second down and 9. And James, we'll start to see what you mentioned earlier in the broadcast as the game wears on with big players, big athletes, and whether or not they get a spell or, you spend 8 minutes on the field, going down the field, you might get tired. And it could give the Tiger defense an opportunity to capitalize as that pass goes wayward and comes up incomplete. You can't argue with the truth.
No, you definitely can't.
It takes a lot of athleticism to be big and strong and fast and do it continuously for an hour or two.
Sometimes the facts, they just catch up with you.
Yeah, those guys play. Those guys play on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah,
you don't have a lot of them in high school, but they're there. 3rd and 8. Handoff Nichols near side. He'll make a guy miss and almost another. Credit that tackle to Hilligoss as Nichols tried to get away, and Hilligoss said, I don't think so. Spot the ball just at the 30-yard line. This will bring up a 4th down and 2. Interestingly enough, the Tigers have stopped the War Dogs in this situation, and the War Dogs have surprise punted in this situation. And looking at the field position and only having a 3-point lead, I would expect with the wind at their back to see the War Dogs most likely punt this one. But we're getting ready to find out why I'm not a paid coach. There it is. All right. End over end with the win. That'll be taken by.
So you're saying there's a chance you could have been a paid coach?
Wood, who has some room.
Yes, he does. Oh, look at this, Hilligoss.
He makes it back into War Dog territory.
That's a late hit.
To the 45-yard line.
74 gets away with one there.
I hesitated calling Wood because it didn't look like he was running. I didn't see the number. And I'd say it's probably rare that, Hilligoss does offense and defense. He's a quarterback and a safety. And if he's returning punts, he opens himself up to that possibility of getting injured. But he got a nice return there. Spot the ball at the 44-yard line. War Dog territory. The Tiger offense now, 7:55 remaining third quarter. Want to get back those 3 points. Call it 7. That handoff to Roman Tucker. Finds room, finds a hole. Just can't escape that last arm tackle. But he gains 6, maybe 6 on the play. 5. Call it 4. Spot the ball at the 40. Brings up second down and 6. Hilligoss now trips to the left. Handoff again, Tucker. This one opens up. He gets down again into the 35-yard line before he's brought down. So a couple nice runs back-to-back by Tucker. Nice job by the line opening things up. And again, those 4 5-yard gains at a time bring up short yard situations on 3rd and 1. Next thing you know, you're converting. Next thing you know, you are in a scoring position, and you start to turn the tables. Changing the formation here as Hilligoss will take the snap and fire downfield. Nice. Spiraling pass has a man. Matheson's with complete, and I don't have a signal yet. We're waiting for it. Waiting for it.
There it is.
He's in the end zone as far as I'm concerned.
No, it's touchdown. The judge in the middle called
Tigers. And none of the officials were that far down the field. What a catch. What a pass.
The official in the middle of the end zone finally called it, and man, what a job of getting in around the pylon.
Matheson came up and spun the ball and just want to make sure the official knew, I'm right here. It's right here in the corner of this back end zone right here. Here's DeLong with the hold.
Uh-oh.
Official with the flag. Will be a call against the Tigers, illegal substitution possibly, or too many men on the field.
That's one too many is what that one is.
Yeah.
That is 12 instead of 11. And that's when you got to run off the field and everybody sees, and you know everybody sees, that's a bad feeling. I remember that too.
Edwards now marked at the 16. That'll be a 26-yard extra.
In case you guys aren't catching the theme, I made a lot of mistakes in my football career. At least that's what my coach said.
Up and kick is good.
Hey.
Nice extra point. Tigers now with the lead, 20-16 over the War Dogs of Miami. 6:51 remaining third quarter. You're watching it all live right here on Hub Network.
Good game. What different a year makes?
Back and
Bank of Cushing, a branch of Blue Sky Bank Pahuska, wants you to know they are still the same friendly hometown bank. Local people that live, work, and worship right here in Cushing. Providing you the same great service, more convenient products and technology, making your local banking experience even better. A great bank serving a great community. Bank of Cushing, a branch of Blue Sky Bank Pahuska.
In my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
welcome back after the score. Tigers now up 20-16. We are in for a back and forth so far. Kickoff by Edwards. Fair catch, 30-yard line. No return. War Dogs will take over. We are in a battle back and forth, and you're watching it right here live on Hub Network. And the Tiger defense now has an opportunity to really maybe turn the tide a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what I was thinking. They definitely have the chance to turn the tide and the momentum. And listen, the further we go, the longer this game runs out, the more advantage it has for the Tigers as the big linemen for the War Dogs to start wearing down and start opening up those opportunities for the Tigers, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, we've talked about it for the last several years, the strength and conditioning and program of the Tigers working throughout the year, 12 months, 7 days a week, has paid off. And this handoff, Nichols. He finds some running room. He'll eventually be brought down. Looks like Lang and Bales on the stop.
Yeah, he made contact, bounced off of the line and back around. I'm not sure the defender was in a position where he could spin around and get his hands around him. Finds a little opening around the corner and really just kind of takes a knee.
He gains up 4 yards, brings up second down to 6.
Gains up, brings up.
Ought to be a commercial.
We're working on them.
So, War Dogs now in a second down and 6. Tiger defense trying to hold. Be another handoff to Nichols. Those inside runs have been put to the test there and stopped as he found nowhere to go. Looks like forward momentum, maybe a yard. Should bring up third down and 5. Spot the ball at the 36-yard line. So here we go. Here's that longer third down that the Tigers have been looking for. And this is the type of situation you're wanting to put a running team in, where they have to get the long yardage so that you have that extra opportunity. You can't just give up 2 yards and they get a first. So we'll see what the defense can dial up here. Haven't seen Lillard keep it for a little bit. He throws this time, complete on the right side, just enough for the first down.
Yeah, they just gave him a little bit too much out on that side, get a little too much of a buffer. And I think Woods is kind of feeling that like, hey, oh, boy, I wish I closed that one up a little bit.
Sumapang with that reception. He's their go-to, I'd say, downfield passer from what Bruce was coaching us on earlier. And then they throw a lot of little passes to some of those running backs coming out of the backfield. Yeah, Sumapang again listed a junior. This handoff straight ahead. That's going to be Davis, the ball carrier. Gain of about 5 on the play. Spots the ball at the 46-yard line. We're going to have to do a roster check, guys. 79 is coming in and out in different defensive situations. I don't have him on my roster. And so, like Robinson playing in a freshman as a freshman tonight, wears a different number on different night than he is tonight. I'm curious if some changes haven't been made and we haven't received that update yet, because he comes into key situations and sometimes it's this inside run.
That's exactly right.
And this has sometimes been the result of it. Just a 2 or 3 yard gain instead of a 6 or 7. So I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
Makes his way to the 49-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 3. Right at midfield. 4 minutes on the clock remaining in the 3rd quarter. Tigers did take a lead. They're up 20-16.
This is going to sound terrible. I'm looking at the weight on the roster and looking at the size of him, and I've narrowed it down to about 2 players.
Okay.
That it could be. It's either probably Logan Owings or Camden Raines.
Logan sounds familiar. That's going to be a tackle made by Michael Cruz.
He's listed at 6'2", 285 pounds.
They have him as a freshman? No, junior, okay. First down picked up by the War Dogs to the 45 of the Tigers.
I've got Owings as a junior.
Yeah.
And we don't know if that's it is or not.
Yeah, no, we'll continue to find. I mean, as coaches change and move players around throughout the week, anything like that is often to happen. This handoff right side, met at the line of scrimmage, eventually brought down, maybe a gain of 1 on the play. Great job of just getting in there and causing disruption. I believe one of the first people in on the tackle might have been Brett Griffith, number 58.
Okay, it is Ty Lucio. 79 is Ty Lucio.
Very nice, Ty, yes, sir.
Is it sophomore? Sophomore. That's
investigative work right
there. That is our crack team putting it together. Good job. All right. We're going to talk about Stillwater Transfer and Storage, established in 1956. AAA self-storage, locally owned. Let us make moving easier for you. Give them a call, 405-372-0577. And Coops Fast Lube and Tire at 918-225-6559. Go down and tell Doug I said, hey, get your oil change, your tires fixed, and everything in between, and have a good visit. That's Coops Fast Lube and Tire. KW Well Service in Cushing, Oklahoma. Quality service by people you've worked with for years. Give them a call at 918-225-7855. Tell Kenny I said, hey, and I'm going to tell everybody, hey, by the time it's over with, by the way. KW Well Service, Derek's Poles and Roustabout Work. Give them a call. Let them do the work for you. KW Well Service. Broken Arrow Electric. Be Electric Supply Incorporated, 918-225-0600 for all your electrical needs. You can go visit them at 802 East North Street in Cushing. Get the things you need to get your electrical going. And then Oklahoma Community Credit Union. Membership is now available for everyone. Join today with 2 locations in Stillwater, 311 East McElroy and 1811 South Sangre Road in Stillwater. That is Oklahoma Community Credit.
I know that you've waited your whole life to hear this, James, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Here you go, yo. Here you go, yo. So what's the scenario? And the scenario is that timeout was taken for cramps. Two.
That's right.
Dogs on the ground. So we're getting to the part that we were talking about. This long pass downfield, defended by Wood.
It was.
They're gonna rule it a catch.
And Woods never turned his head around to get a look on it.
He does not get an interference call.
No, he was playing straight away, but he never knew when the ball was coming in, is my point.
Yep.
Like, he's so good at getting his hands in, I don't think he knew the ball was right there. And credit to the receiver of not looking until it got right there. He just put his hands out and just kind of tracked it all the way in.
Now, we'll say this. These downfield passes with the wind at the back have been difficult for both teams tonight, and that one actually finally had the right touch.
Yeah.
So an adjustment possibly made by Lillard. This time he'll hand off. Davis, the ball carrier, met by
71.
Yep, that's Michael Cruz. He's had several tonight. Nonetheless, a gain of 4, maybe 5 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 5. Spot the ball now at the Tiger 13-yard line as the War Dogs, with 2 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter, trying to regain the lead.
Yeah.
Here the Rocky Balboa music coming up as we continue to exchange blows on the field.
So, what do you think? It's not an Apollo Creed. What kind of fight are you in there, Rocky?
It's always a fight. It's internal.
It's always the Apollo.
Yeah.
Or is it the Russian?
Yeah. Well, and as you go through are there 19 of them? They don't ever get old.
Oh man.
That run effective for a 3-yard gain will bring up 3rd down and 3 from the 10. Clock approaching the 1 minute and 10 second in the 3rd quarter. Of course, and the Rocky movies with the Eye of the Tiger and growing up and Cushing and all that, it's our movies. It's our thing. It's our go-to.
I really appreciate them writing that song for Cushing.
That's exactly right. Lillard hands off. Davis carries straight ahead. He'll find the end zone. That'll be 6 for the War Dogs. The Tiger defense kind of looking around.
Yeah, everybody's wondering who was going to be tackling there because he came in almost unimpeded. He was touched all along the way, but that's about all that happened as he finds the end zone.
So another jab. Now the War Dogs to attempt the point after. Wind at their back. 52 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter.
I don't know what I expected coming in here tonight, but I'll tell you, I didn't expect a back-and-forth game like this.
That kick is blocked. Nice job by the Tiger defense.
That was
That's going to make a difference. That's going to make a difference.
Comes across and gets hands on that one.
That makes this game a field goal game, 22-20. Tigers down by 2. And we'll be right back here with you on Hub Network Live after this.
Sure you know what's below and call 811 before you dig.
At Davis Dental Studio, our patients are our friends. Unlike the big commercial facilities, Davis Dental Studios wants you to know you're not just a number. We strive to bring personal and quality service to each patient. Dr. Rebecca Davis has over 18 years of experience as a caring and compassionate dentist. She and her highly trained staff will make sure your visit is a positive one. So remember, when you and your family need dental care, Davis Dental Studio. You're not just a patient, you're a friend.
Since 2000.
There's the kickoff. Tigers will return this one from the goal line. Just going down by 2 points. That's Bales. He makes a man miss. He's still on his feet. Bales still on his feet. Out across the 25, down at the 29-yard line.
Bales determined to make that happen, and boy, did he ever.
They spot that around the 28-yard line. It's a 28-yard return as that was taken at the goal line.
Yeah, and folks, the broadcast is just a little bit behind, so we can actually pull up the broadcast and see it all over again, and that looked as good the second time as it did the first time.
41 seconds in the 3rd quarter. Tigers now back on the field on offense, trailing by 2. See what the offense has to bring. 2 wide receivers, both sides. Tucker in motion. Hilligos looks to Tucker and goes there. Tucker just lets that one get away from him.
Oh, man, it looked so good. He was running before he was catching.
You know, one of the things I noticed, and you look at the quarterback, he's following the wide receiver heading downfield in hopes of pulling those backs away. 2 things can happen. He's going to fire it downfield because the guy gets beat, or he's going to check down to Roman, who's out there in that flat.
Exactly what he did,
Exactly. Very nice job. Just didn't come up with the pass. This time to Bales. He gets the pass and the spin move, gets to the 38. Nice catch. Should be enough for the first down. And it is. 30 seconds now remaining 3rd quarter. Clock starts again.
Brock Bales says, hey, I got this. Let's go. Give me another one.
Tiger offense is going to go ahead and probably huddle up.
Yep.
And just have a little longer discussion in between the 4th quarter starting and now. And what a 3rd quarter back and forth. What a first half back and forth. Don't go away. Come back and see how it goes. 4th quarter coming right back here on Hub Network Live.
great audio, video, and lighting systems. Never confusing our industry with the PC crowd, Pro Events always provides you with the best, most reliable options for your house of worship, school, or corporate training facility. Make your system stand out from the crowd. And remember,
For the best AV, you know where to go visit proevents.pro.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice. It's a small
Action
town.
coming at you live from Odell Field. We have reached the fourth quarter. Tigers back and forth, currently down by 2 with the ball in their own territory. Hilligoss, delayed snap, flags fly. Probably have a offsides on the center. Very, very rare situation for our center.
And we are not going to get an interview at the end of the game with Coach. We had one of our piece of equipment go down. That's why it was a little bit rough in the first half. And we actually are using the equipment that I normally use to get the interview is broadcasting. So we can't have it both ways, but we can have it out.
Horizon Construction will bring us the Coaches Show on Sunday
right.
at 4 o'clock. And you will want to tune in and find coaches and players, their thoughts on the season, the games they just finished, the games coming up, and follow the Tiger team is just an awesome opportunity and a very special thing that we try to do here in our Cushing community.
We're holding for something, but I'm not for sure what. Are we giving them the opportunity? They're signaling the time, maybe. There it is.
Yeah, that was because the play hadn't started. Flags came in and stopped it, so it should not have ran. Big hole on the right side, tackled from behind, gains back to 5. That's Tucker on the carry. And he fought hard for that extra 1.5 yards, and he'll get back, I think maybe a 1+1 on the original line of scrimmage.
Special thank you to the defender who comes in from the backside and really pushes it through. All the defenders on the other side are like, hey, man, come on. Seriously, we had him shut.
I'm going to call that a 2nd down and 9 just because there's a little bit of space between the down marker and the flag. Nonetheless, Tigers with 3 wide receivers near side. Hilligoss to pass. Nice catch by Wood. Wood on the move across midfield. Has a blocker. Cut from behind. He's inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. And
Wood coming up, using all that height that he got from his father to go up there and get that one.
2 things stand out to me on this one, James, and I just want to point out that I was extremely impressed with Hilligoss being so patient because it was closing in around him. He lets it fly. It was a little high, but it needed to be because Lane had to go up and get it, pull it down, and then the work Lane did after the catch.
Listen, if that one isn't high, Wood doesn't come down with it.
That's right. Here's Hilligoss again, fires downfield to the end zone. 2 defenders can't get it quite brought in.
The corner's right with him. The safety drifts over there to cover, and that's a no-go. Well defended.
I was thinking that was intended for Matheson. Yeah, broken up by the War Dogs. So another look and a quick strike. No-go. Tigers facing 2nd down and 10. Just underway in the fourth quarter, just under 1 minute gone. Here's Hilligoss looking downfield. Matheson just out of his fingertips again. Curious on the play development of something like that as Bales was on deeper.
I was watching that too.
Yeah. And I'm curious to see a play like that maybe go later. And a whisper from upstairs says, go to Bales on the deeper route. That's many fans are familiar with coaches in the coaches box above where the cameras and things are, where they are keeping bird's eye view on things. Here's Hilligoss, penalty flag.
Yeah, there was a couple of movements there, and I'm not sure which one they got him for.
Looks like they're going to call the Tigers, set him back 5 yards. As they step it off, Hillegas and Chisholm are already in discussions about the next play.
You know, we don't know who it is up here, but the line judge will always try to tell the coaches so they know. And it looked like he rattled off a couple of numbers there. I don't think it was any one person.
So far, as a penalty has occurred, the Tigers have rebounded quick. We'll see what happens here. Hillegas again to pass. This time fires again. I believe Matheson gets some separation, gets the catch, goes out of bounds. War Dogs say no. Official says yes.
Yes, she does. She says that was in there.
That is going to be caught around the 12-yard line, maybe 13.
And the War Dogs, the safety, is trying to get, hey, he was pushing off, but he wasn't pushing off. He just turned around.
Yeah. And again, credit to the pass. Didn't go to the inside. It went to the outside, bringing Matheson that direction so he could pull that in.
And people say, well, his arm was extended. His arm was extended because the defender had a hold of it. He had to pull his arm back in to catch the ball. Those are some of those neat little tricks you can do and try to get a call your way.
Absolutely. Now, first down and 10. Tigers on the march, fire to the end zone, just over the head of would-be receiver Wood. Man, that was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Everything but the end.
Yeah, I'd like to see another one like that, except a little crossing more towards the corner.
Yeah, and you know, these passes have come up the past, several plays for the Tigers. Eventually have one or two, and then boom, hit one. Certainly hoping now, just trailing by 2. Tigers 10:34 remaining in the game. That's going to be Roman Tucker. He makes a shake and a bake, and touchdown Tigers! Roman Tucker into the end zone.
Woo-hoo! We got a game. Yes, sir. 10:28 in the fourth quarter in the game, and the Tigers say we'll take the lead again.
That is the answer the offense wanted to give, and they did it through the air, and they did it on the ground, finishing it off with Roman over the middle, and a nice job of him with heads up running, shifting and moving and breaking tackles.
I'm going to go back to your Rocky illustration and say they were mixing it up all the way down the field.
That's right.
They did a good job of mixing that up. Credit to the coaching staff of mixing that one up and not looking so one-dimensional.
Tigers go for 2. There's a pass to the flats. Matheson has a chance, reaches for it. The signal is
no good.
No good. Man, now I want to bring up our replay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Tigers up 26-22 over the War Dogs. 10:28 remaining in the game. We'll be right back with you on Hub Network Live.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
RCB Bank is more than a transaction. We work to make your life easier. We help build your business. We finance your dreams. We grow your legacy. We build relationships with our communities. Come in to find out why our customers always say, RCB Bank. That's my bank.
Bank of Cushing, a branch of Blue Sky Bank Pahuska.
Set to kick. Edwards from his own 40-yard line. 10:28 remaining. Tigers just took the lead 26-22. Here's that style of kick that is immediately downed. It was caught at the 37-yard line, and no return on the play.
Hey, I'm going to give him credit. A good job securing. Not an easy kick to secure.
Yeah, and that's the purpose of the kick. It's a strategic situation. So the War Dogs will start 1st and 10. They like to control the clock. If they were to put together a long 8-minute drive and score, they would leave the Tigers under 3 minutes to do the same. Be interesting to see what type of strategy is invoked as they are playing now from behind, but do like to control the clock and the ground. They do go to nickel straight ahead. Tiger defense is there. I see Fry and a couple others. I believe Matheson and Bales in on that tackle. They're going to give no gain on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 10. Again, that's what we've seen in this second half. Knock on wood so far, the Tiger defense is reading that and getting off those blocks better to keep those 10, 12-yard gains down to no gain or 3. Here's a handoff now. Davis, the ball carrier. Several Tigers in on that one. And he'll lose. Called a loss of 2 on the play. Brings up 3rd down and 12. Substitution now as Hilligoss comes in.
Moreland in on the stop there.
That loss puts the War Dogs back at the 37-yard line. And they need 11 to get the first. Clock continues to run. Lillard to pass.
Flag on this side. Another flag in the backfield. That one chipped out.
That was dangerous, and it would have been a better incomplete pass. That may matter on the penalty call and or what ends up happening. Mikado's there to make the tackle, but lost yards by flipping the ball to a wide receiver. Yes, I believe Coach is saying decline this. I love the fact that we backed him up.
Yes, sir. I don't know if Joe's done some adjusting on the microphones in there, but all of a sudden, my voice sounds a lot better. It sounded like I was in a can all night.
Might be the
impressive.
Sound better whenever the Tigers are ahead.
Maybe that's what it is.
2 penalties, both declined. But of course, the result will be a 4th down. Yeah, that was a 3rd, so a 4th down, and they lost yards. So fantastic. The Tigers declined both penalties, and now Davis will get set to punt. And we'll have Hilligoss back again deep for the Tiger return.
Coach Morgan really animated on the sideline now.
High kick gets caught up in the wind, I believe. Hilligoss called fair catch, now get away. It's going to roll dead around the 35-yard line, just inside.
I'm not going to lie, he scared me a little bit on that one. I made a little concerned.
A little too close for comfort. Woo. Tigers now have 8:48 remaining in the game. The ball back and the lead. Now, what type of opportunity could this be?
Don't forget another one of our sponsors, Hard Hat Safety and Glove. Visit them online at hardhatsafetyandglove.com. And I'm not going to read all the things they can do. You can see it right there on your screen. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Check them out, hardhatsafetyandglove.com. All right, here we are back to action.
Tigers will start from their own 35-yard line. Hilligoss to pass. Fires deep down the middle. Has Matheson with the catch. Turns and down. What a catch by Matheson. He reeled that in. He had his vision on it the whole time.
My goodness. I'm telling you what, if Matheson gets that one on the other side of his shoulder, there's nothing stopping him from the end zone. They are not going to catch him, but he had to turn around, and that's what brought him down. Great pass, great reception by Matheson. Way to make sure he brought it in. And in case you didn't think it was that tough, you can see how his jersey was pulled off of his shoulder pads when he got up.
Yeah,
that's how hard he hit the ground.
Tigers in up tempo, and the flags will slow them down as they'll get called for too much tempo.
Yeah, I believe somebody on the far side, I'm not calling any numbers or names, was a little hot tempo.
5-yard penalty, spots the ball at the 35-yard line. Now, Max Wood and Matheson to the far side.
Lane to the near side, and
Bales.
Brock Bales.
Roman Tucker switches sides, and Hilligoss is ready. He looks, comes back this direction. That is a screenplay designed for Wood, and now he's off. Nicely blocked. He'll gain it down to the 25-yard line. And that'll put the Tigers right back in striking distance on 2nd down.
There's a flag on the play, and this is going to be targeting. This is going to be bad for the War Dogs. I believe I'm making it hasn't been called that, but I'm saying right here, personal foul. Oh, against roughing the passer. So there's a line thread away, and man, I want to talk about that play. And you're right, boy, this would be nice to have the replay on that one, because they brought everybody and the Tigers picked it up perfectly.
And Hilligoss fakes to one side just fast enough to get them to go that direction so that the blocking can take place and that screen to this near side can happen.
And folks, you have no idea how hard it is to look around defenders that are crashing down on you and make that play.
I'm surprised they blew this one dead as it had already started. It will be too many men on the field as the War Dog couldn't get off the field before the snap. So I thought sometimes they let it see what happens, but I guess, you know.
Actually, it was an illegal substitution by the War Dogs, so that's going to back them up and keep moving the Tigers forward.
That 5-yard penalty will spot the ball down inside the 10, call it the 7-yard line. The Tigers on a 1st down and 5 from the 7. Trying to add to their lead, up 26-22, 7.5 minutes remaining. Hilligoss looks to the corner, fires, has a man, brings it in. Touchdown, Tigers! That pass complete.
Lane Wood.
Lane Wood again.
Listen, Lane Wood has showed up as a bit of a star tonight. Not much out of him. Haven't heard a lot of his name throughout the first part of the season. Actually heard more of his brother in the first part of it, but now we got Max and Lane, the twins, actually both coming on strong. Tall receivers for the Tigers and great corners.
2 junior players that'll be around this year and next year. And just getting this season started, of course, as we're in game number 4 in our first conference play, 7.5 minutes. Here's Edwards to add to it. Kick is up and looks good from here. It is good. Tigers will have a 33-22 lead. 7.5 minutes remaining. You won't want to miss it right here on Hub Network Live. We'll be back after this.
Want you to know they are still the same friendly hometown bank. Local people that live, work, and worship right here in Cushing. Providing you the same great service, more convenient products and technology, making your local banking experience even better. A great bank serving a great community. Bank of Cushing, a branch of Blue Sky Bank Pahuska.
In my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
It's going to be Edwards. Edwards kicking off from his own 40-yard line, 7.5 minutes remaining in homecoming 23. First conference game. Miami War Dogs. Here's the kick. Hand over in towards that 20-yard line. That one's mishandled. It's kicked around. War Dogs able to cover it up. And James, broken record, right? That's designed to do that.
Yeah, and there's a penalty over there. Just now, a late flag comes in. That is designed to do that. And
and had he not recovered it, the Tigers would have all the momentum moving forward. War Dogs have 7.5 minutes left, but we haven't seen them, other than 1 or 2 plays, be really a fast attacking
I'm looking
offense.
to see what the official calls here.
I got it unsportsmanlike, but
that is unsportsmanlike against the Tigers, and I hummed because that's exactly what I suspect it would be. That's called jawing on the other team's sidelines, what that is. That is taking some liberties with your mouth, usually. Unsportsmanlike things said, like, hey, I don't like you. You smell funny.
These quotes.
Those kind of things. Those are very unsportsmanlike.
These quotes are brought to you by Emerson. From midfield, pass to the flats. That's going to come up short. It is a forward pass, so it's incomplete.
No chance on that one.
Hilligoss on the coverage. Had it stayed up, that might have even been a pick.
Well, and that's another one where the wind's coming in, so that one looked like it was low and too long, and he's trying to compensate for the wind, but it just pushes it down.
So 2nd down. Ball spotted at midfield, 7:26 remaining, 4th quarter. Now the War Dogs with just a single back set. Do hand off over the left side, and that is Davis on the carry. He'll gain 6 or 7 on the play. Possibly Moncada on the stop. Gain of 7 brings up 3rd down and 3. We're approaching the 7-minute remark. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. Tigers, however, have an 11-point lead. And up until that last touchdown, I was, really feeling like we needed that statement. Here's Lillard now. He has not.
This is, go ahead. This is exactly the momentum shift.
Well, he has not kept one of those in a while.
Nope.
And Mr. Heisler could be the reason why.
That's exactly right. Heisler
he may be shadowing him.
He is shadowing him. He's not only shadowing him, the quarterback has been seeing him like the last 2 quarters. He is with him every play.
I mean, I cannot think of the last time they started the game with him left, him right. And
they made the shift in about the second quarter.
Tigers adjusted.
And Heisler's been shadowing him since. And, boy, nicely done, Coach Fry.
Here we are now, 4th down.
Here he is again.
Pass right at the 1st down marker. They're going to call that caught. That'll be at the 39-yard line and a 1st down for the War Dogs. Nicely executed on their part. I don't like to give out compliments to opposing teams. However, it was nicely done.
And also, the Tigers are giving a little bit of buffer. Sometimes you get a lead, and that's what you do. Give them a little bit more buffer, nothing behind you.
Davis on that left side.
I never do like that. I always like keeping your foot on the gas, but coaches know a lot more than I do.
Well, and I'm
not a coach.
Yeah, it gives opportunity to sometimes use clock and protect your lead, and even if you give up something, it's too late.
It's kind of like my wife. My wife always wants the long pass every play.
Yeah.
And I try to explain to her that's not the way the game's played. And
now Nichols, who was very effective in the first half, he'll get down inside the 25 before being tackled, and that was nicely blocked.
Yeah, nicely blocked, and he was shoving a few guys out of his way himself.
But he has that ability to run, and he ran like that in the first half, and the Tigers have kind of adjusted to it in the 3rd quarter. And I wouldn't be surprised to see go right back to Nichols again. He had one of their longer runs of the evening, and they do. He's up the middle, and he'll get inside the 20. A nice job of group tackling by the Tigers. Fry getting up from that one, and Cruz. Michael Cruz, mentioned his name several times tonight. Tigers will make a substitution here. This can sometimes cause a problem. There we go. We got a guy off. We're good. Lillard passes. That's out of the reach. On the coverage for the Tigers is Bales.
Yeah, you want to guess who was in his face?
I'm going to go
Wyatt Heisler. And just about got a hand on it. I wouldn't be surprised to see Heisler get a hand on one, bring one in. He's just about got him timed.
And you can see the defense has really been amped up and much more effective in the second half. Lillard now hands off Nichols straight ahead. Cruz is there. Moncada may be there. No, that's Cruz and maybe Bales. Nonetheless, goes down inside the 15.
I think it is. I can't see from here.
That Nichols is just a tough, strong back.
I'm just
He's
telling
a senior
you.
leader on the team. He gets the ball to the 11-yard line. We're getting to the 4.5-minute mark. Tigers trying to protect an 11-point lead. They could give up, in theory, 8 here and still have a 3-point lead.
He is just hard to tackle.
This one goes the other side, and that's a great sniffed out tackle right there. And that's Fry. He read that one. That was Davis, left side, and Fry came from his left side linebacker.
Yes, sir. Kellen Fry was all over that one.
I like to call that a beat down on the playground. He went nowhere. 2nd down 10. Some of my teacher voice, we're going to have a beat down on the playground. You don't sit down in your chair right now.
Those Smooth Rhythms brought to you by the FFA department of Cushing.
Just 2 cents from a man with a nickel. Here's Lillard. Looking for end zone, doesn't. Now fires, has a man, and touchdown, War Dogs.
And Heisler was on the backside, and it almost looked like him and the other defender both coming around kind of let up. But regardless, it ends up being score for the War Dogs.
So at the 3:46 point in the game, the Tigers now 33, War Dogs 28.
How important was that last touchdown?
That's right. And possibly that 2-point conversion that didn't happen. But, you know, it's all going to play out here. We're going to see it all happen in 3.5 minutes, and the War Dogs will start right here by going for 2. If they don't get this 2-point conversion, the Tigers have a 5-point lead. And they'll take a timeout. Timeout taken at 3:46. Hillcrest Hospital. Timeout on the field. And the only thing, James, is we talk about going into whatever happens here. The Tigers gave at least me some confidence in that last offensive march
exactly right.
down the field that we should be able to go out there for 3.5 minutes and march down the field and possibly get a touchdown.
I want to mention a few more of our sponsors here in this timeout. Kim's Bookkeeping and Tax Service, 403 North Cleveland Avenue in Cushing. Give her a call, 918-225-1634. That is Kim's Bookkeeping and Tax Service. Also, Clayton's Land Service. Here we go. Pipeline maintenance, welding, track hoe, backhoe, dozer, dump trucks, haul trucks, right-of-way clearing, weed control, mowing, sandblasting, and painting, power washing. Clayton's Land Service, 918-223-5801. Give them a call for any of those things. And Bill's Easy Out, 2 locations here in Cushing. One on Main Street has, best barbecue in town. The one on 9th Street's got a great salad bar.
Candler family recognized tonight with the game ball.
Yeah, appreciate all they do, and man, I love that barbecue.
There's Lillard with the keeper. He's met the backfield. Guess who's got it? Ball came loose. 2-point conversion is no good, and there he is, Mr. Shadow.
Watch Heisler walk off here. Look at this. He's like, yes, sir. No, he's not jumping. He's not hollering. He's just walking off like he had another day at the job.
Come back right after this, folks. We got the last 3.5 minutes for you. Tigers up 33 over Miami 28.
Be sure you know what's below and call 811 before you dig.
At Davis Dental Studio, our patients are our friends. Unlike the big commercial facilities, Davis Dental Studios wants you to know you're not just a number. We strive to bring personal and quality service to each patient. Dr. Rebecca Davis has over 18 years of experience as a caring and compassionate dentist. She and her highly trained staff will make sure your visit is a positive one. So remember, when you and your family need dental care, Davis Dental Studio. You're not just a patient, you're a friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the last 3.5 minutes of the first conference game and homecoming 2023. And just for notification, the Tigers have a 5-point lead, and the hands return team is on the field, expecting a possible onside kick. You've got defensive specialists that pick off passes and cover up fumbles, and they're all on the front line. We still have a formation deep just in case. Here comes the kick. And they go deep. 5-point lead. This will be returned. That's Bales. He has a seam. He has a blocker. He's still on his feet. Makes it to the 43-yard line. Nice return. Nice blocking. Nice done special teams.
Oh, man, it is so good to see Brock Bales healthy. I love it. I love so much of it. But I'll tell you what, I want to go back to Mr. Wyatt Heisler. I want a video clip. I want our producer to make me a little video clip of him blowing up the quarterback and then walking off. Absolutely. Like, no, I take my lunch now. I'm going to take a break. Listen, I just doing my job here. Nothing to see here. Just doing my job.
Tigers up 33-28 from their own 43-yard line. First down and 10. 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Roman Tucker, the ball carrier, needs to protect the ball at all costs. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage before he's dragged down. But obviously, the obvious is do not turn over the ball.
No, that's right.
To the other team. Now the clock will run. The War Dogs have 2 timeouts. Tigers have 3. I personally don't expect to see the Tigers use one. I expect the War Dogs maybe hold on, see if they can't force a 3rd and long or a punt or a 4th and long situation to save their timeouts as well. That handoff straight ahead, nice blocking up front. Tucker will make his way to the 49-yard line. Boy, that blocking, when you need it and it comes through, it's nice.
I like it.
The big guys up front getting it done.
Lonnie Schuler has been solid for the last 2 years as a center. I mean, and you have no idea how hard it is to snap the ball that many times that good, and he has been rock solid. But that whole offensive line, man, I like the way they're creating gaps.
Yeah, there's definitely some, some strategies and plays called that allow linemen to get the advantage on the block, but they're executing.
Yeah.
And that's the key. When you can execute, a guy can gain 5 to 7 yards getting into that secondary before he's tackled. Hillcrest Hospital timeout was taken by the War Dogs. They'll have 1 timeout remaining as we approach the 3:04 mark of the game. Tigers looking to close this one out, just like to possess it right on through the end. Of course, adding a touchdown to things helps in case of district standings, district ties.
That's exactly right.
Things like that. So, and the other thing is you don't change who you are. You continue to execute who you are and how you do it. So we'll see what the Tigers dial up. You can sometimes they will use more of the play clock, especially with only 1 timeout remaining for the War Dogs. Hilligoss will do a round to Matheson, and he's got blockers and room, and he's still on his feet inside the 40. He's got speed inside the 20. He won't be caught. There it is. Matheson, touchdown, Tigers. 2:52 remaining in the game.
I love it so much. That was perfectly executed around the side, but that wasn't the best part of the execution. The reverse was not the best. The best was the blockers leading out all the way and creating a gap. Great job, Tigers. Great call by the coaches. And I'm not sad about a touchdown. I'm not gonna lie. That's helpful.
Considering everything on the line, you're trying to protect, you're trying to win, you're trying to put it away. That probably does, and that should possibly be our big Tiger play of the game.
That's
right here
exactly
at
right.
The end. It was
No
long yards,
doubt about it.
and it means everything right now. Here's the point after, up and good. Ladies and gentlemen, your Tigers have a 40-28 lead over Miami War Dogs. 2:52 remaining in the 4th quarter. We'll come right back with us after this.
Singular focus, great audio, video, and lighting systems. Never confusing our industry with the PC crowd. Pro Events always provides you with the best, most reliable options for your house of worship, school, or corporate training facility. Make your system stand out from the crowd. And remember,
For the best AV, you know where to go visit proevents.pro.
Oh, yeah.
All right, welcome back to Tiger Football Live here on the Hub Network. And Travis, you know, you call that the big Tiger play, and you're exactly right. I'm going to back up and give Matheson the That's My Play from RCB Bank. Like, we got the big Tiger play, and following the That's My Play. And, man, those are both game-changing plays, defense and offense.
There's the kickoff. It'll be covered up by the War Dogs around the 37-yard line. They'll start on offense there with 2:51 remaining. They have not been a quick strike offense all night, but look for that to possibly change here.
Oh, yeah.
The Tigers have a 12-point lead.
For the first time, I just stepped in the booth and said, hey, by the way, just so you know, Joe, we haven't been able to hear you in our headset all night because I've had all kinds of good things to say.
Hey, and I do want to go back to that play as well on that play because one of the things I noticed is we talk about Wood and these and Bales and them in these wide receiver positions, but they're blocking, and they're blocking well.
Yeah.
And it's executional blocking that allows lanes to open, no pun intended. Pass to the near side. Lillard, that one goes incomplete. Good coverage by Max Wood.
I want to brag on our broadcast as well. And I know sometimes it's difficult. I know we have equipment failures. We have things that we can't foresee. But one of the great things about this is I'm going to go back and watch the game again. I can go back and watch and see these things and fast forward and get to the plays I want to see. And that's at no cost to everybody in town. They can just go back and see it again. And I can name 10 plays right now that I'm going to go back and watch tonight.
Yeah, all brought to you by the sponsors that make this happen. And, folks, if you go out to these businesses or you're friends with any of the employees there, the owners, let them know that you appreciate them supporting this for the community. This handoff straight ahead. That is Davis again, the ball carrier. He'll gain 6.
Now, this is something we didn't see early on in the game, but what we're seeing is Tigers now running in there, shutting it down, really doing a good job against these big backs.
Yeah.
And big line.
Three wide, a bunch of wide receivers now. Lillard looks downfield. He fires. That one's kind of wobbling in the wind. Could be and almost picked off.
Oh, well defended and almost picked off.
Hilligoss says, seriously, man, QB to QB. I have.
Yeah, I got you. Throw it at me again.
Of course, that'll bring up 4th down, and in passing situations, the clock doesn't move. We've reached the 2-minute and 15-second mark. Make sure you join in on Sunday for the Coaches Show to get all the interviews and opinions.
Once again, we will not have an interview with Coach afterwards, but we will be talking to him at 4 o'clock on the Coaches Show.
Yeah, that's going to go for nothing as it'll be a turnover on downs because the Tigers will decline these penalties. Moreland was in the backfield causing all kinds of havoc. And as Lillard got flushed from the pocket, he got tackled. And the flags came in for the illegal hold or the illegal block. But the Tigers can decline that and just take over on downs. Spot the ball at the War Dog 40-yard line. That should do it as far as winning the game. The only question is, what do we do for 2 minutes and 9 seconds to put it in the books?
Hey, listen, I wouldn't be opposed to the touchdown. And you talked about something. I'm going to mention it here.
It's important.
In district play, what people don't realize is as you start moving towards the playoffs, the spread of games, like how much you win by, how many points, and usually 15 is a magic number, that makes a difference. And that can make a difference on how you are ranked in postseason play.
You mean the difference in home?
That's exactly
home field
right.
Advantage or traveling.
And so it really is important to get all the points you can. And I know teams are trying to, but sometimes you're like, oh, it's we got this in the bag. No, you still need to go after it.
Yeah. And in this case, the Tigers may run. The other team has a timeout they're not taking. Yeah. Everybody is going to concede.
And what I want everybody to know is it's not for nothing that we're still going after it.
Yeah, that's right. And you don't expect the players, of course, never give up. They're going to go till the final whistle. This should bring the Tigers 3-1 on the year, if my calculations are correct. Running back straight ahead.
And your calculations are correct. That also brings them to 1-0 on district play.
And that's Robinson, right? That's
yes, sir.
Brody in his varsity uniform, number 24. Yes, on the season, great, good job, hooray. But on conference play, most important, 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
And going on to take on out of town next week.
No, we're back home. We're back home.
2 home, then 2 away.
Yep, that's exactly right.
I knew that happens. I couldn't remember when, but next week we will host again right here on Hub Network Live. You can see it. True to that. Here's a pass downfield. Matheson on like a wheel route. Looks like he catches it, and he does. So he'll be down at the 12-yard line on just, or not. I don't see flags or the chain gang moving yet, so.
I'll pull up the schedule here. Let's see. Yeah, next week is Catoosa here, and then we're 2 away, Wagner and Tulsa McLean. Those are your 2 away. I kind of like that when we have the back-to-back. We did that last year and the year before. I like that kind of doubling up. Makes it fun for teams.
Mm-hmm.
And good for fans. So, yeah, then after that, we'll close out the season. Cleveland here, Oologah away, and then Skytook at home. Hey. You couldn't hear our producer say that. I thought he might be on the mic. The digital copy of the Hub Extra is out right now. You can go check that out. And the physical copy, you can find that on the Hub Network Facebook page. The physical copy will be out next week. Should be. Will be. Should be. Should be. Will be.
Dr. Seuss
Definitely
is in the house. Well, we're going to have a lot of penalties here at the end of the game for some apparent reason. 40 seconds remaining. Okay, false start. And along the lines of those listening, Joe, permit me to say, the Alumni Association will put out a fall Oiler here in the next couple weeks as well, that will have the Hall of Famers that were inducted tonight, among other things, for people to find an interesting read. And then it will be updated through the year for a spring edition as well for Alumni Weekend.
I believe also, if I'm not mistaken, the FFA is on the cover of this one. Is that right, Joe?
I'm anxious to see.
Is that right?
I've heard rumors.
Is it the FFA issue?
Yes, we're getting ready. And to that point, we will have our national presentation. You and I talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Our national presentation will be Tuesday by Zoom. So we are putting on those final touches now. Tigers set to punt. High end over end. The conversation should be had. This will be down to inside the 2-yard line. And the War Dogs will take over now. 33 seconds remaining, and the Tigers have a 40-28 lead.
Votes, notes.
2 seconds remaining as Bruce moves into next to me here. No. What happened is the War Dogs took a timeout with this 2 seconds so they could have a final snap. And the crowd starting to dispense. For all intents and purposes, Tigers should have a 40-28 victory. And both teams will move forward to next week in round number 2 of district play. Be a nice homecoming for the Tigers. Here's the handoff. Straight up the middle. There's some running room. He'll get to the sideline before he's finally just tripped up. Time has run off. And just to summarize, this was a hard-fought back-and-forth battle. The Tigers start to close it out in the third quarter. They do in the fourth. And we're going to bring in votes, notes here to finalize some statistics. And Bruce, some of your thoughts on that second half.
I tell you what, this is probably one of the best games I've seen in a very long time, with it being so offset. You had Miami, who is a running team, that put the ball on the ground a lot. They had a great little fullback in Davis. They just didn't, I mean, they used him and used him and used him. He got a cramp, so he had to check out for a little while, but he had probably 20 carries for 162 yards on the night, so he was a workhorse for him. They tried to manage something in the air, Miami did, but they just never could do it. The ball would float on Leland, and he just couldn't get anything solid on his passes. So Miami just couldn't get anything down the field. They had to rely on their running game. It ran out on them. You and James talked earlier about those big linemen, their gas running out. I think that's what happened to them. They're in the probably midway through the fourth period, and Cushing took advantage of that.
Yeah, and I think that we definitely recognize some adjustments made as Lillard started the game with, Lillard here and Lillard there and Lillard here and Lillard there, and Heisler kind of started shutting that down.
He did.
And the missed two-point conversion and other things factored into the confidence leading the Tigers into the victory at the end. How about any standout particular Tigers that statistically for you?
Well, several. On defense, we had and I was just getting initial tackles out there. And, you had Bales. He had quite a few. You had Lang. They kind of stopped going to Lang's side. Here in that second half, he didn't hardly have a defense at all because they stayed away from him. And kudos to him for that. You had Heisler, who was just – he was a stud, just bottom line. So the defense was there. Defense was there for the Tigers, no doubt about it. But the defense has been there all year long for the Tigers. You got Hilligoss passing. He's 17 for 26 for 264 yards, 3 TDs, a stellar night for Hilligoss, but that's what we expect out of Hilligoss every week. Because he has the numbers, he has the receivers where you have Matheson's 7 catches for 11 attempts, 141 yards, 2 TDs. And Matheson also has 2 rushes for a TD, you know, that 48-yard scamper on that little reverse that they had. Tigers used several receivers. You had Max Wood out there. You had Lane Wood out there 5 for 5. He didn't miss a shot. Hit to him, 80 yards, a touchdown. You had Roman Tucker. He was there tonight, but you know he wasn't a big impact player like he has been in the first 3 games. He was 2 for 5, 20 yards, 1 TD. So the Tigers were there all night long on the passing. On the rushing end, Hilligoss, 8 carries, 38 yards, a TD. And then you had Robinson in there. He had some nice carries in there. And Roman Tucker, 7 carries for 19 yards. And so everybody had a chance to get in this game, hone their skills a little bit. Tigers did a stellar job of being patient and working the ball, passing the ball. Didn't get excited about anything. The game, you know, was just action-packed. It was good from the time we started the game to the time we finished. I mean, we had a safety in the game. We had blocked field goal or extra points in the game. We had fumbles. We had many penalties. Both teams did a great job tonight.
And as far as we go and talk about the Ortho Oklahoma game wrap-up, I would just kind of comment that what looked like to be a time of possession first half and a possible struggle, the Tigers were able to keep things close, and the defense really stepped up to adjusting in the second half and made some big plays by some individual players, but it was spread out among several players, including Cruz and Heisler and Bales, in addition to the wideouts and Lang and
don't forget Fry and Rolston
secondary. That's right. And then we talked about Ty Lucio coming into the game in several key moments, and you start seeing more substitutes. So we see all that being spread out. And I want to say the same thing about the offense in the Ortho Oklahoma wrap-up show is that the offense was spread out, and there was a running game, there was a passing game, and some of the would-be receivers became runners whenever Matheson came with the end around. So some passing, some running. All in all, I come away from this one with a good victory. Tigers are going to come out 40-28. We'll have Coach's Show on Sunday at 4 o'clock with coaches and oftentimes players, and it will include the football as well as softball and other fall activities. And don't forget that Hub Network, that Hub Magazine, Hub Extra, is on Facebook right now in digital form, and print media coming soon. We appreciate you joining us. It is truly a blessing to be able to do this in our hometown of Cushing, Oklahoma. From all of us here at Hub Network Live, thank you and good night. We'll see you next week.
Next week.